Well, yeah, yeah. We are live, and I am fried. I'm not gonna lie to you. But look, check this out. Hold on. I got a stream deck. It's getting real, bro. Look, I can do shit like this on my stream deck. All right, I'm bullshitting, but look, we got a crazy reaction video from Thinker. How hackers stole 50 million from the U.S. government. I always wanted to be a hacker, bro. So you telling me if I become a hacker like right now, I can hack the government? Yeah, we gon' yeah.
The sun was
50
shining,
million?
birds were chirping, and Michael Casper was ready to file his taxes like any other responsible adult.
We gonna go right
He made
there.
himself a fresh cup of coffee, sat down at his desk, and opened TurboTax. But as he entered his information, he was hit with an error message that sent chills down his
Hold on. Okay.
spine. His tax return had already been filed. He quickly called the IRS hotline, hoping for answers. But what he heard on the other end of the line left him speechless. His taxes had indeed been filed, and a deposit was being made to an account that very same day. The IRS couldn't.
Bro, how do you even like get that far, that deep into where you filing somebody else's taxes? Imagine calling them or trying to do it online and it says already been filed. Like how?
Give him any information about the account or who
How did they get your
filed the fraudulent
W-2s?
tax return because of, quote, their own tax privacy laws, unquote. It seemed like all was lost, and Michael was about to lose thousands of dollars to some unknown criminal.
How they get his
Picture this.
W-2s?
It's tax season, and all across the globe, people are getting ready to file their returns. Among them, there are hundreds of people like Michael Casper, but there are also a handful of cautious people that take cybersecurity very seriously.
This what I was gonna
Before
do.
diving into the web's treacherous waters, these people flip on their trusty VPN, the ultimate guardian angel against cyber threats. And
Gotta
you know
have a
what?
VPN,
We've got your back
always.
too, because we're
How
about
many times my shit done got leaked? Like email passwords and all that shit on the dark web. I still got shit on the dark web. Get that VPN, bro.
to introduce you to today's amazing sponsor, Surfshark. At Thinker, we understand the lurking dangers of the online world.
This promo.
The incredible story.
Let's go.
Michael was not one to give up so easily. He was determined to find out who was behind this scam and get his money back.
So it
He
was a
searched
W-2 scam.
tirelessly for a way to uncover the truth, and that's when he stumbled upon the IRS's Get Transcript website, where he could get a copy of his tax return. But when he tried to make an account, he was met with yet another shock. Someone had already created an account in his name.
You
The
gotta think
situation
quicker.
was getting stranger by the minute, but Michael was not one to back down from a challenge and got to work. As he continued to investigate the situation, he came across the then little-known Form 4506, through which he
Whatever
could
that
request
is.
a copy of his tax receipts.
Oh, there you
Even
go.
though the IRS didn't want to give him a copy of the receipt due to privacy reasons, it seemed like he would be able
Even with the KYC verification, they still weren't trying to give it to you. Like, damn.
to get it if he paid them $50 for it. So,
$50
after waiting a few days
for a
for
copy?
a bunch of receipts, he was finally able to look at his tax receipt and see just how much money was scammed through his name and to which bank it was sent.
Oh my god, they
It
had a
turned out
social and
that someone
everything.
with a bank account at the First National Bank of Pennsylvania had received almost $10,000 from the fraudulent tax return in Casper's name.
Almost 10 bands? Where you work at?
At the same time, more and more cases of Get Transcript related issues were being reported, and the authorities slowly began to realize that something very unusual was going on with the IRS's
Bro,
web services.
almost
But
10?
back to Michael Casper. He had managed to get help from the Williamsport Police Department, and together with one of their investigators, he was able to trace the account to a young woman studying at a Pennsylvania university.
A
But
college?
little did he know
Hold
that
on.
she was just another string of a much larger web of fraud and deceit.
So it's all leading up to one big
Chapter 2.
bro.
The Mule. March 2015, Pennsylvania. Casper and his investigator had set up a meeting with the young woman to talk about the fraudulent tax return. But to their surprise, she was very open about the money she had received, claiming that it had been part of a job for an international company. She explained that she had been struggling to pay her bills,
It's a pyramid.
and when she didn't find any suitable jobs, she took to the internet. That's when she came across a Craigslist listing that promised a quick payout for a few easy financial tasks. All she had to do was to receive money, retrieve it from her account, and then send it to Nigeria via Western Union.
Boy, whoever
This is
running
where
this
things
operation,
became
M's.
obvious for the investigator, who quickly realized what was going on. The
He up
young
M's.
student had been tricked into being a money mule, a person who receives money from a third party, mostly victims of cybercrime, and then cashes the money out and sends it to the criminals so that they can remain anonymous.
They up M's because it's just the whole pyramid of them.
Cybercrime and money mules go hand in hand,
It's
with
over
some
with.
being part of a criminal organization, but others, such as the young woman in this case, being people that have been tricked into committing crimes without knowing what was really going on.
It's just like, bro, how do you like? You can't be that hungry to just fall for some shit like that, though. Like easy payout, quick payout. Hey, bro, you gotta do some type of work.
But while Casper and his investigator were
Put in
talking
the
on the
hours.
phone, the IRS had been notified about a massive security breach, one that would encompass Casper and the young woman, and would eventually turn the entire IRS upside down.
Frying them right now. Hey,
Chapter
I would
3.
do it too, though.
The true scope.
Our taxes ain't going
On the
nowhere, man.
26th of May 2015, the IRS announced that cybercriminals had found a way to steal millions of dollars in tax returns and thousands of taxpayer documents, including social security numbers, private addresses, and much more.
And they got that shit forever. Everybody on that list could. And it probably was you. It probably was me. Nah. I've been able to file.
But just how did this happen? The criminals had been buying packages of American taxpayer data on the dark web, and in particular from TurboTax users,
Oh,
since
yeah, that
the
wasn't
company
me.
had been hacked in 2014, possibly by
Oh,
the
I wasn't
same
even doing
criminals
shit
that
around there
orchestrated
anyway.
this entire ordeal. Basically, there is a massive shadow economy in which hackers sell the data that they obtain from hacks just like these, with a person's entire private information going for around $100, credit
They sell your identity for a freaking strip. Your identity got sold for $100. They said your life not even worth whatever. They priced you at $100. Your life got sold for $100. Oh my god.
card information for
They
an
don't
average
respect
of
nobody.
only $15, and standalone tax information being sold for as little as $4. The criminals then scanned through the data that they bought and created thousands of American taxpayer profiles.
They pricing this so
Data
cheap.
blocks included everything from their families and pets' names, home addresses, and much.
They got his car model. No. They got his wife, his kids, his pets. For what? That might be somebody's social security number for real though.
more.
No,
The
player.
cyber criminals used
know.
these profiles to make accounts on the IRS's Get Transcript website so that they could get access to tax receipts of hundreds of thousands of people. This way, they got access to the data that was missing from what they had bought on the dark web. And,
Oh my
as you might have
gosh.
guessed, one of these people was Michael Casper. Hence why he couldn't make an account on Get Transcript during his own investigation.
I want to go on the web
However,
one day.
back to the
I'm
criminals.
scared though.
They would go on to use the information that they got from the IRS's Get Transcript website to submit thousands of fraudulent tax returns. This resulted in over $50 million of fraudulent tax returns being paid out, with almost
50 million. Bro, how do you even managed to. You gotta be a smart person to even think about doing some shit like this. Like that many people. You gotta be doing this all day. It's
all
like
of it being successfully sent to money mules that then transferred it to accounts in Africa, Eastern Europe, and China.
And they overseas with it. They overseas with it. Cooking all the U.S. people.
Criminals basically stole money from the American government through their own tax system and by using American citizens as money mules.
Them overseas
But most
hackers
impressive
different.
is that all of this was done without ever stepping a single foot into the USA. It had been a complete success for the criminals. It turned out that the breach didn't only affect 100,000 people as initially thought, but over 700,000 people, and that the estimated damages were a lot higher than previously thought. But most interesting was that they also discovered a link to an unnamed Russian cybercrime group. This group had been using middleman scammers, mostly from Nigeria and Asia, to create the Craigslist listings and send the money that they received from the money mules to
Bro, I thought the US scammers and all that was crazy. No, these niggas is crazy. These niggas is crazy.
the hackers' accounts in Eastern Europe. Chapter 4.
We ain't got shit on them.
The aftermath of the 2015 IRS hack was disastrous for the agency and the taxpayers of the United States. The IRS was severely criticized for its poor cybersecurity measures and the lack of transparency in dealing with the victims of the hack. The IRS was forced to spend millions of dollars to improve its cybersecurity measures and provide free credit monitoring services to the victims of the entire ordeal. The agency also faced multiple lawsuits from taxpayers who had their personal information stolen and used in fraudulent tax returns. It also exposed the role of money mules in cybercrime. These individuals are often used by cybercriminals to transfer stolen funds to individual cybercriminals and scammers. However, as the IRS hack demonstrated, these tasks are often part of a larger criminal operation, and money mules can face serious legal consequences for their involvement in these crimes.
Wait, what?
These tasks are often part of a larger criminal operation, and money mules can face serious...
More than 5 years in a row with money mule. So you telling me for all the money they steal, for example, 50 million, you telling them they just getting more than 5, like, I guess 5 minimum, but like, bro, if you basing it off of 5, they can get 6 and be up out of there. That's what you telling me. If I'm stealing 50 million, bro, that gotta be at least like 10 minimum. You fucking with the whole economy right now. That's like 10 minimum.
Serious legal consequences for their involvement in these crimes, with sentences often being multiple years long.
Like, gonna be receiving
so if
M's.
You are still watching this video, be aware that you shouldn't give out too much information on the web.
I ain't doing that anyway. Bro, they receiving M's. Now I'm about to go do it. I ain't even for the cap to you. I'm not.